Welcome
to the joy of coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 93 of The Joy of Coding. My name's Mike Conley. We're going to be hacking on some Firefox stuff today. I think it's the past month or so, the past couple weeks, we've been doing some Rust. I'm going to put that on the back burner just for a little bit. I'm hoping today we can go back to Firefox desktop. There's a bug I've found that I want to try and fix, and maybe we can get a prototype done today. Let me explain. I'll explain in just a second. Hold on. Let me just switch to my desktop. I want you to see the agenda. Hey, it's the agenda. It's March 1st, 2017. Making sure that you can hear me, yes, and I'm recording, yes. And a reminder that no plan survives breakfast. Things could go completely awry during this episode. I don't really have a plan beyond just a set of things I'm hoping to do. But things could go wrong throughout. That's okay. None of this is scripted, really. It's just me making stuff up and showing you what I kind of do for a living and how I go about it. So if things go wrong, that's okay. That's all part of the plan, so to speak, or part of the lack of a plan. And this agenda actually has a bunch of stuff you might find useful in here. There are a bunch of links that you might want to click on and check some stuff out. That is available to you if you go to the Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I think I've screwed up. You know what? I think I've completely forgotten to set up an Air Mozilla event. So I don't think I'm streaming to Air Mozilla right now. Yikes. Hold on, let me do that really quickly. That was supposed to happen and I forgot. That was a step I forgot in my whole rigmarole. I'm going to do that right now. Bear with me. Holy smokes. Hold on. Joy of coding. Duplicate. Start now. Start now. Duplicate. Now, joy of coding 93. Scheduled. I'm going to say scheduled for right now. I have to get all of the stuff that I put in. I'm so sorry that you're having to sit through this. I'm going to do this as quickly and as correctly as I can. I need to put in the additional links. That's the agenda here. Just one more moment. The agenda. Okay, I can put this back here. Okay, we need the agenda. Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. It's scheduled for today. Today is March 1st. I want it to be today, Junior. Today, it's going to be about that long. Do it. Submit. Okay, submitted. It's apparently currently live, so let me just double check that it's actually working. Oh man. Joy. Again, apologies you're having to sit through this. Come on. Joy. 93. It's hard to say. I don't know if it's up yet. Hold on. Let me check. Oh, yeah, I'll check over here. Is it streaming? Is it delicious? Come on. Oh no. That's the fallback player. That's no good. I don't think it's working. Oh no. Start times 5 minutes ago. Did I not set it up correctly? Maybe I need to... Oh, I think I screwed up part of it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry again. I have to change the template. Template to this one. That's what I need to do. Save changes. Now will it work? Yes. Oh man, so sorry. And now it's displaying. Okay, folks. I apologize profoundly. If you were hoping to watch The Joy of Coding on Air Mozilla, I kind of screwed the pooch just now if you had been trying to stream it. However, if you're watching this on any of the other channels that I'm broadcasting on, like YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, that was probably super boring and confusing, and I apologize. But now it's available on Air Mozilla. I'm sorry you had to deal with all of that. The archived recording will be, I'll cut all of that out. So let's go back to where we were. Hello, everyone. We're 6 minutes in. I just wanted to remind you that no plan survives breakfast. I think I just demonstrated that. And I want to provide this link as well. So yeah, all of these links, all of the stuff you're looking at, this agenda is actually available to you. If you're watching this on Air Mozilla now, it's in the additional links section. If you're watching this on Facebook, it should be in the description. I was able to find a way, I think, to put it in the video description. If you're watching this on YouTube, it should be in the video description. And if you're watching this on Twitch, I'm about to drop it into the chat. Boom, done. And I'm also, there's this handy dandy link for rating the episode and letting me know what you thought. Those are in the same place as the agenda link, and I encourage you to fill in the form and let me know what you think of this episode. Although I'm expecting bad marks for having not set up Air Mozilla correctly until just now. Sorry. So let's get down to business. What are we doing? What's this bug I'm talking about? It's this one. Bug 1342927. And here we go. Let's open it up. And what it is I'm going back to the same problem I've been dealing with for a while now, which is tab switch spinners. So tab switch spinners are these things that you might see periodically when you have E10S enabled and you switch tabs, and what we call the layer tree doesn't come up from the content processing time. The layer tree is what we end up presenting to the user. We have to send it to the compositor so that it can be put together with all of the UI from the parent process, and then we composite it, and it looks like your browser. But if the layer tree doesn't come up in time from the content process, because the content process might be busy doing something, it might be garbage collecting, it might be stuck running some JavaScript, in that case, what ends up happening is we wait for that layer tree, and if it doesn't show up within, I think it's about 300 milliseconds, we show this little spinner in the middle of the page, and that's very frustrating. And one of the things I've been dealing with in this entire year has been trying to drive the number of users who are seeing the spinners down. And for a while it was happening. We were driving it down. This chart was mostly flat, but periodically we get a win, like we got a win right here. And that caused the number of affected clients on the nightly channel to go down. And then it bumped up here, but then it dropped down again, even lower. So we were down to like 37% of the eligible clients were affected. And then it bumped up here with E10S multi. And I wanted to figure out why. And I think it was last week I figured out a way, or I found a potential cause for tab switch spinners that I think we can fix. One of the things that we introduced early on, one of our big wins early on, was the ability to interrupt JavaScript in order to paint. So that means that, here, I'll show you an example. So this is my browser, and if I just I don't think you can see this. Let me bring that up, and I'm going to increase the font. I'm going to do like the worst thing in the world, which is to, I can't clear. I'm just going to run a busy loop. I'm just going to say while true loop. So this is going to hang the content process. We're going to cause the JavaScript to just go crazy. It's going to be stuck in this loop. So now we're stuck in this loop, and now the page is no longer responsive. And the other tab over here, which is running in the same process, you'd think it would also be unresponsive. Well, like you'd think I wouldn't be able to switch to it because the layer tree won't come up. But we're actually interrupting JavaScript in order to force a paint, force the transition of those layers over to the compositor. And that was one of our early wins, or right over here, where we figured out that we could do that. We could say, even if you're running busy JavaScript, just hold off, just stop it for a second, paint, and then go back to what you were doing. So that if we can get tab switching still working, despite the fact that neither of these pages are like, I can't select text. Oh, I can select text. Oh, you know what? These are running in different processes, that's why. I've got E10S multi enabled, that's why this one's running okay. But if I were to like open another tab, Well, hold on a second. Let me stop this busy loop and try and demonstrate this more concretely. Let's open up another tab that we know is in this process. 12453 is this process. This one's in 6966. So these two are in the same process. This one and this one. And so if I were to run that busy loop, I can still switch back and forth between these two, despite the fact that both of them are no longer interactive. This one's not interactive, this one's not interactive. I can scroll because the compositor's still alive and the layers are still being sent, or the layers were sent and I can still scroll those layers, but you'll notice that like I'm not causing any repaints to occur whenever I scroll past the bottom of the scroll area because the content process is all locked up, but I can still tab switch, which is what I care about. So that's what we're dealing with here. We've got this ability to interrupt JavaScript, and that's really, really nice, but there's a problem. And the problem is that in order to interrupt JavaScript like this, the content process needs to be in a particular state. So whenever we do running tabs out of process, we have this pair of objects. There's one in the parent process and there's one in the content process. The one in the parent process is called tab parent. The one in the content process is called tab child. And usually they're created kind of in tandem. They're not exactly in tandem, and I'll get to that in a second, but when you create one, another one will be created, and that's your sort of walkie-talkie for talking between the processes and saying, okay, this tab, I want you to go to this URL, and then the tab parent will message the tab child. The tab child will then do the work in the content process. So that's great, and that's fine, but one of the problems is that if the content process is hung or stuck, then the construction of the tab child will not occur until the main thread is running again. So you can create a tab parent on the parent side, which normally sends a message to the content process that is saying like create a tab child and pair it. But if the content process is locked up, it never services that message. The message gets queued, but it never gets serviced. So a tab parent will exist, and then we'll say force paint to this tab parent if we switch to it. So we'll try and force paint to it, and the tab parent will say, okay, well, let's interrupt JavaScript in my tab. But when the message goes down, it'll say, well, there's no tab child for this tab, so I can't interrupt its JavaScript. So I'm done here. And then we come back, and force painting doesn't occur, and then we just show a spinner. Or we have the probability of showing a spinner because the force painting is actually one of two mechanisms that's occurring simultaneously to try and show the paint. There's the traditional, hey, activate and start painting, and the other one is force, and we race the two of them. That's how it works. And the first one that wins, and we paint. But if the one of them, like the force paint one, gets blocked, then we can only rely on the other one, which is just the traditional, hey, paint for me. And if the content process is locked up, then we won't paint, and we'll get the spinner. So it's a lot of explanation there, a lot of context. I don't know if any of that was useful, but what I've been doing is I've spent a couple hours yesterday working on a patch that will allow us to fire an event in the parent process if we know that the content process doesn't have a tab child ready. And that patch is already up for review. That's right here. Right here. So what I've said is fire a Moz tab child not ready event on a frame loader if force painting a tab without a tab child. And it's not even just there's no tab child. If the content process hasn't set up the mechanism for listening to our force paint messages, we should also fire this event. And we're going to use this event so that because we know we're in a very particular state. In the event that the mechanism for listening to force painting isn't available, or we know that the tab child hasn't been constructed yet, then we know that we are either dealing with a new content process or a new tab. And in either case, I think we can get away with not showing a spinner. I think we can get away with just showing blank. And then whenever a frame is ready, whenever the content process frees up, hopefully it will, then we can start rendering content, and we go from blank to like showing you your web page. But we don't show the spinner, and we don't delay. We don't wait that 300 milliseconds. We can show blank immediately, and that I think is strictly better than waiting 300 milliseconds, feeling like we've delayed the UI, and then showing a spinner. I think it's strictly better. So that's what I'm hoping we can do today if we can get it to work. So all this patch in here that I worked on yesterday does the work of sending the event in the event that the tab child isn't ready, or the mechanism for force painting, which is called the process hang monitor, is well, we kind of bolted it onto the process hang monitor. Um, but we, if neither of those are available, we'll fire this Moz tab child not ready event. So now that's up for review, but nothing has changed. We just fire this event. So now we have to write the front end that's going to deal with this event, and that's what I'm hoping to do in this episode. So, without further ado, let us do that. Hold on, I'm just making sure that my Air Mozilla stream is still working properly. I'm a little paranoid now because of you know, everything was going so swimmingly and then it wasn't. So just give me a second.
Mamma mia!
Come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm waiting for the calendar to load. Well, at least I know that I'm broadcasting properly on YouTube. Facebook seems okay, and Twitch seems okay. It's this Air Mozilla I'm worried about. And let me just pull up today. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, that's why. I'm at the wrong website. I'm on the dev server. Okay, still working. Happy about that. So what are we doing? We are going to work on the front end now and deal with this event. So how I want to do it, I've kind of been poking together this plan, and I think I've got a way we can make this work. I've also got a test case so we can, or like a manual test case so that we can sort of try it out. What I'm going to do is hook into the tab switcher mechanism, and I'm going to add a weak map. And this weak map is going to be a thing, or a weak set, I should say. Um, tab, pending tab childs. New weak set, I'll say. It's a weak set. And in here, we're going to hold all the browsers that send us that message. So first of all, we're going to have to add an event listener for the message. Add event listener. Moz tab child not ready. We're going to remove it down here whenever we exit. And then whenever we handle events, we have to handle that one. So there's a handle event function in here. Handle event right here. Else if event.type equals Moz tab child not ready, then we're going to on tab child not ready event.original target will be the browser. So we're going to add a method after on and swap doc shells, and I'm going to call it, I'm actually going to put it, where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it right here. On tab child not ready takes a browser, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say this dot tab child, our pending tab childs, maybe I'll just say pending tab child dot add the browser. And then in the stuff that occurs after every event, the post actions, where is it? Post actions. Let's see, or is it pre-actions, post actions? What is it? Or maybe it's an update display. On update or update display. Show tab equals null. Let should be blank equal this dot pending tab child. Show tab dot browser. Linked browser. Need spinners and not need spinner. Actually, what I can do is put all this spinner stuff into a new condition. Whoops. So if should be blank, else do all this stuff, I think. For now, let's do that. If should be blank, then this dot blank tab. Should be blank. If this dot blank tab. Hang on, how do I want to do this? It should be blank. The one that we've selected to show should be blank. I want to set a particular set of attributes on the tab that should be blank. But what about if there was a previous blank one? I don't think I like this structure. I'm gonna put this back the way it was. Sorry. So before we determine whether or not we are hiding or showing the spinner. Need spinner and not should be blank. And maybe if should be blank, this, no, because what if there was a spinner before too? I think they need to be separate, yeah. None of this. Not should be blank. I think that's true. That's a kind of a mouthful. Not and not should be blank. So the first thing, maybe I'll think aloud in the code, and maybe that'll help me make sense of this. First, should we not, did we have a blank tab and no need to have it marked blank? If not, should be blank and this dot blank tab. This dot tab browser, remove attribute, pending tab child, so that's an attribute I'm going to deal with later. This dot tab, this this dot blank tab dot linked browser dot remove attribute pending tab child, and then this dot blank tab equals null. Kind of like down below. Else if should be blank and this dot blank tab is not equal to show tab. And it's possible I'll be able to merge these later because there is a, like, we'll only ever, well, no, because in this case we shouldn't be blank, but we do have a blank tab. We might need to keep these separated. It's so complicated. Should be blank and is not equal to show tab. I'm more or less duplicating some of this stuff. It'd be nice to abstract it out a little bit, but not just yet. Should be blank, and the one that was blank isn't the blank one. Then I'm going to remove this dot blank tab. I'm going to say this dot blank tab dot linked browser dot remove attribute pending tab child. This dot blank tab equals show tab. And then this dot tab browser set attribute pending tab child is true. This pending tab child. I think that'll work. And then we need to get rid of the we need to delete the browser from the weak set tab child dot delete browser. We can do that there when layers are ready or when layers are cleared. Okay. And then I'm going to set a blank tab to null up here. Tab showing blank. Okay. Now that's a lot of stuff. Just give me a second here. I'm going to add some rules now. I think I can duplicate some of these. Like browser, pending tab child is the same way. Opacity will be 0. We'll say pending tab child. We'll have some of these same things, except almost none of them. Actually, it should be more like this. I'm just going to take the background color. Okay, so we've got something here that might do what I want it to do, and now I need to test it. What's the best way to test it? Well, the first thing I'm going to test is whether or not I can open a tab and switch to it and not see the spinner if the content process is locked up. And the best way I've always found to do that, especially early on, is to use this environment flag called Moz debug child process, which will basically cause the content process to hit a breakpoint almost immediately, or to hit halt immediately after startup, to wait for you to attach your debugger. So let's see what happens now. Restore. Oh, this pending tab child, not a function, not a function. Okay, that's wrong. This on line 3842. If this pending tab child, it's not a function. Oh, should be blank. Should be dot has. That's what I should have done there. Build faster. Same thing as before. Hey, all right, we're switching tabs. This one still feels sluggish and it's colored differently. You know what we should do is add some logging, and then it frees up, and that's what we wanted. This one still like is sluggish for some reason. I wonder why. Like, why are you so sluggish? Even though the content process is free, it's probably not doing a whole lot right now, but it's switching to this one. It like takes a while. Oh, I'm hitting this like error, JavaScript error. Spinner tab is null. On line 3861. Oh, because I'm supposed to be doing this with blank tab. So I should be paying tab child to true. No, it shouldn't be spinner tab. Okay, so let's try that whole thing again. And I'm also going to add some logging, I think, this time. So on tab child not ready. Got tab child ready on browser at URI browser.current URI.spec. That might not be super useful early on because the current URI might not actually be set, so that just might be about blank. But that'll be good. And then pending tab child. Dump. Determining should be blank. Should be blank. And then dump had a blank tab and shouldn't anymore. Clearing. Updating, setting a blank tab. Okay, so we've got some logging now. Let's see if this is any different. All right, run. So, what's happening here? Should be blank, true. So none of them are very sluggish now. They're all blank. And then they finally start loading, and then this one behaves properly as before. Okay, so that's good. I didn't see the spinner. I'm pretty sure that if I look at the telemetry, spinner should be, let's see. Yeah, no spinners. So I didn't technically see any spinners there, which is good. Now, what about the other case that I want to deal with, which was like content process completely locked, and then we tell the parent to open a window, or the parent tells the content to open a window. Like, well, true. And then, whoop. Why did that take so long? Like, that one felt sluggish. Let's try that again. So, lock up the content process, open a tab, the log here and then see what happens. Should be blank, false, should be blank, setting a blank tab, should be blank, true. Got tab child not ready. On browser RURI. On browser RURI? Come on. Come on, Mike, what are you writing? So let's try it again, and this time instead of looking at logs, just look at the behavior again. So it still feels a little sluggish. Why did that feel so sluggish? Stop. So why did that feel so sluggish? What are we waiting for? And get rid of some of this logging. I feel better about what we're doing now. Actually, I'm going to put these back, but I'm going to get rid of this. And then I'm going to check out this timeout one. Timeout, timeout, timeout. Timeout, event, notify callback, set timer, onload timeout. That's what we care about. Load timeout. So I'm going to run without Moz debug child process now because I want to see what it's like just with that, like running fast JavaScript in the, or not fast JavaScript, running awful JavaScript in the background. Okay, while true, awful JavaScript runs. We attempt to switch tabs. So we attempt to do the switch and we wait for the load timeout, despite the fact that we got the tab child not ready event. We should not wait for that load timeout. Tab child not ready should run right away, or like we should paint the blank right away. So what's going on there? We must do something in the timeout, like set the load timer or the loading tab to null. Post actions, pre-actions, and post actions. So let's see if pre-actions, post actions, post actions. Right here. So we should, no matter what, be calling update display, even after just after the Moz tab child not ready event. Calling update display. So let's make sure that that's true. Assumption should be true. Just going to double check there. I'm going to bump up my font so you can see a little bit better. It's interesting. This one is like stuck at blank now. That's a bug. Definitely don't want to ship that. But also, let's try this case. So let's see, are we going to call update display? Yes, we do. We do call update display after, but only after a bunch of these do we set a blank tab. I'll note that there's no mention of the timeout. Is that because I got rid of that log message? On load time. I did. Let's put it back. I don't know why I got rid of it. Let's put it back. Let's try that whole rigmarole again. Smurf D says Airmo is working. That's good. A fine result. Okay, so we have this current case where like we get tab child not ready and we never like unset a blank tab. That's busted. We definitely need to address that problem. But in the meantime, let's see. While true, what happens here? Got tab child not ready, and then we wait all this time to set a blank tab. So why would we wait all that time? Why would we wait all that time? So update display must not. Blank tab, maybe it's because we determined that blank tab is not equal to show tab. Like, I would like to know. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set a breakpoint. This is my best idea. On tab child not ready. I'm going to set a breakpoint right here. Or actually, I don't need to do it manually like this. I can do it with the browser toolbox right now. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to open up the browser toolbox. And in the debugger, come on toolbox. I'm going to say on tab child not ready. I'm going to set a breakpoint right there. Then we are going to. So apparently the tab child's not ready for this one. That's crazy. Oh wait. No, it's just because we're creating a we're creating a tab switch spinner or tab switcher. So don't pay it any mind. But that does mean that this is like a poor debugger. Set breakpoint. While true. Do that. Do that. Now set breakpoint. Now switch tab. Interesting. Why didn't I hit my breakpoint? Or maybe I did hit my breakpoint. Whoo boy. Alright, I don't think that the debugger is working the way I wanted it to, so I'm actually gonna shut this puppy down for a second. I'm gonna go back to no, you don't. I am gonna put this here. I think that might be a better way of breakpointing inside XBL. Zbl. Um, Oh man, sorry. I gotta attach my debugger first. Web developer, browser toolbox. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, so now we're here. We add the browser. And we're going to do the post actions. Update display. Ah, I skipped over update display. Damn it. Shoot. This is all so ham-fisted. Maybe I'll continue and stop that breakpoint. I'm just gonna go back. No, I don't want to open up Thunderbird. I just want to go back to logging, I think is what I'm gonna do. Logging was working, and I guess that's what I'll do, because I'm dealing with like weird timing things. So update display is down where? Update display here. Should be blank. Should be blank. And then dump should be blank. Oh, should be blank, and then the same thing, but I'm gonna say this dot blank tab, this dot blank tab. Actually, I can put this down here. So let's try our experiment. While true, open up a new tab. Let's switch to that new tab. Okay, what does it say? Got tab child not ready. Should be blank is false apparently. Should be blank is false until after the timeout. So should be blank is false. Maybe that's because the show tab is being calculated incorrectly. Figure out which tab we want visible right now. Oh, because here we're waiting for the last visible tab. Gotcha. I gotcha. So I think these conditions are where maybe I should do this up here. Should be blank. That and this requested tab linked browser. So if there is still the requested tab's not yet loaded and it's the last visible tab, there's a last visible tab and there's a load timer and not should be blank. then it's going to say keep showing the old tab. Okay. Stop. That might actually fix our other bug too. Nope, didn't fix the other bug, but I think it might fix this bug. Let's see. It might fix the one that we're working with over here. Let's see. Are you gonna? Yeah, okay, shows blank right away. Great. That's what I wanted. So that's the behavior I wanted. Shows blank right away. And then when the frame comes back, we'll show it. Okay, great. So now my question is, how come this initial tab is still blank? Um, Is there a point where we get rid of spinner tab? Maybe in pre-actions if this dot blank tab and not this dot blank tab dot link to browser. This dot blank tab equals null. But are there other places? There and there. So why is that initial tab blank? The initial tab will be blank because of, the content process is still starting up. So it's doing the right thing. It's showing blank. But then I expect that 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 frame should become ready. It should become available. So I expect it to say layers ready. Dump layers ready on that initial tab. Does it ever say layers ready? Got layers ready for something. For something else, I guess, maybe. And then got tab child not ready. And then never got layers ready. Interesting. Tab child not ready on a browser. It'd be nice to know what browser they're talking about. So what I'll use is the title of the tab, because I think we get that. So on tab with title, plus tab.title, I think. It's just tab.title, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yep. And then we want to do the same thing for... oh, on remoteness change, I wonder if we want to deal with it. On layers ready. Maybe, maybe not. On browser, I should say on tab with title, like that. Alright, let's see. Let us see. So it says layers ready on tab with the title undefined. So it never has its title set whenever the layers are first ready. And that's probably because of the initial about blank. Calling update display shouldn't be blank. And then we flip remoteness on it. God tab child unrated title undefined. Calling update display should be blank true. Setting a blank tab. And then at some point, like we never, do we never hear about Moz layer tree ready? Hmm. On layers ready. I don't think it's ever called. It's not called on that initial tab. Now why not? On layers ready is fired with the Moz layer tree ready event. Moz layer tree ready event is fired here in tab parent. So let's see what's going on here. Set a breakpoint in there. Debug. Break. Mozilla DOM tab parent. Layer tree update. Okay, so we did get a layer tree update. And then a epoch. Was 1. Layer tree epoch. Or PM is destroyed. True. So we're just going to return immediately. Because we were destroyed. What? Oh, then we get another one. Okay, that one works. Target. Okay, DOM event. PA active. PA active. Come on. Which one are we firing? I don't even understand what just happened. Like, did the layer tree get cleared instead? On layers cleared. Hmm. Oh, didn't mean to run it with debug. Just run it normal. Run it normal, yo. What's happening? What happened? Layer's ready. Called update display. Tab child's not ready. So we have a blank tab. Layers cleared. At what point do the layers cleared? Layers are never ready. Hmm. So why does this never fire? Like this never seems to fire an event for us. Our layer tree update event. And who calls this? Whoops. Layer tree update. Who calls layer tree update? Here in the compositor bridge. This was with the compositor process, which isn't enabled on OS X, so don't care about that. So maybe I care about it here in this runnable, layer tree update runnable. Except I don't know if anyone ever calls that. And then we also have receive force paint no op. So maybe what I should do is what I did before, but then use a backtrace to see I want to set a breakpoint there, run. Where am I? I'm inside. Receive force paint no op. There was a no op. How about this one? There's another no op. Where am I now? Tree update. In this case, we received one from the compositor bridge child. And what's going to happen? I think in that case, it was the layer tree was cleared. Um, So we're receiving this no op. No op. it? Receive force paint no op. And what that means is that, if I remember correctly, send force paint no op is sent whenever the tab child receives the message and so it knows that the child was updated. It's epic. Force paint no op does that. Send force paint no op. And receive force paint no op. Alright, I'm gonna add some logging. Receive force paint no op. Received force paint no op. Layer tree update. Layer tree update bailing out. Printf no target. That one shouldn't happen. And then down here, firing Moz layer tree ready. Or this one, print firing Moz layer tree cleared. And we'll build it. Whew, stretch! I'd like to have this solved in the next 20 minutes if I can. I'd like to know. I want to get a patch up later today if I can. That'd be great. I've got the feeling that this will account for a significant number of tab switches and spinners. Significant number of tab switchers, spinners. And the long and the short of it is that it's not going to cause content to appear faster. It just means there'll be fewer spinners. We wouldn't see a spinner in this scenario, for example. Receive force paint no op. Firing Moz layer tree ready. You fired Moz layer tree ready. Why didn't you care about Moz layer tree ready? Is it because you stopped listening for should be blank layer tree update bailing out? Did we stop listening for it? I'm gonna have this thing log. This use dump for logging. True. So build faster. So this is gonna be a little bit noisier, a lot of logging. Aha! We finish before we're done receiving force paint no op. So we think we're done, but we're not yet done because we still have a blank tab. Okay, that's the problem. The question is why? Why do we finish? Stuff finish. Because the number of pending went down. If the number of pending go down, we decrease. Oh, when we set tab state to loaded, set tab state to loading, loaded. Set tab state. Not tab parent. Set tab state. no action. And then we say if you're loading, what about loaded? State loaded. Then we'll write the state. If the state equals unloaded, else we just set it. And as soon as if it's loading, then we say, okay, we'll do this. If it's unloading, do that. So start requested tab 4 about blank. Loading tab 4 about blank. Layers ready on tab with title undefined. On layers ready, debug, calling update display. But then we flip remoteness on it. Should be blank, false. Tab child not ready. Should be blank, which is true. This blank tab is null. Setting a blank tab. Calling update display. On unload timeout. Layers cleared. What do these symbols mean again? So minus means, I think these are state. This dot log state. It's the state of the tab. If tab is the last usable tab, if tab is a requested tab, if tab equals this dot blank tab, accum state equals loading, unloaded. Loaded is plus, unloaded is minus. Unloading is minus question mark. Plus question mark is loading. Remoteness change. Tab child not ready. So tab child not ready should mean that this thing is still loading. I wonder if that's all that's needed. We say this thing is still loading, yo. Is that it? Maybe that was it. Now I'm going to block the content process. And load up background tab. Blank. Paint in blank. That paints. All right. Hey, I think we got something here. I think we have something that works. I just need someone to review it who feels confident about it. But I think that'll do it. And let me check the other scenario, which was the content process is locked. To begin with, moz debug child process equals 1. So these are all blank. They're just kind of hanging out, waiting for the content process to start up. And eventually the content process does start up. Content process suddenly starts up, and then we start getting frames. Hey, all right. All right. Feel good about that. So I'm gonna get rid of some of these dumps. Also want to make sure that this is right. But also, let's see, let's get rid of some of these dumps I put in. I'm actually going to just kind of drive it around for a while and make sure I'm okay with it. Yeah. I think I put a couple of other dumps in here, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say find dump. Yep. Okay. Good. Okay. And set tab state loaded. Loading, unload requested tab, unloading, loaded. Find on layers ready, it becomes loaded. Layers cleared, it becomes unloaded. Size might change, unloading. Loading. Tab child not ready is loading. Okay. And what about spinner tab stuff? Like, are there assertions that we should probably do? I'm guessing there should be. Assert when we finish this dot assert, not this dot blank tab. Blank tab. Blank tab. XML. Alright. And then log. We have to turn off the logging. Now let's drive it around for a bit and see what it feels like. Correct. Load these things up, then classic HTML spec. That one we still show a spinner for because the tab child was ready, but the content process is unable to paint because we're reflowing on the main thread. Okay. So it's still a bad one. Okay. What about our classic that case? Yep, that's nice. And I'm actually curious to know what'll happen. Oh, and then I've got to get rid of these print messages in there. But I'm curious about what's going to happen in some of our test cases. I might run a couple of test cases that seem to open and close a lot of tabs to see if we end up not seeing a bunch of spinners, because traditionally a lot of spinners show up because we're starting and stopping a bunch of content processes throughout. I'd like to see if maybe the number of tab spinners we see goes down. But hey, I think we've got ourselves a solution here. We've got a thing that works. It might not be the most graceful solution. We might need to do some deduplication in here, but I'll deal with that in review, and I will post that for review today. Oh, and there's another printf. What is the totality of my change here? Let me just double check. Hmm. Okay. Still okay with that. So let's play a sound, a celebratory sound. Oh, inbound is closed. Hi-oh! Let's play a sad one for inbound being closed.
Oh, wow, 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 wow.
Sorry if that deafened you. I do like my sounds. So yeah, we've got our tabs working, and now let's run some tests. So mock, moki test. Let's run the session store tests to see what happens. I'm eager to see whether or not we see a total lack of spinners. Oh, I saw one there. I'm seeing them periodically, but I remember always seeing them like after Windows closed. Seems to be working okay. Now, what I do think is going to break with all of this, then it's actually the reason I noticed that I could fix this bug was because there was a test case that was causing the spinner to show up, and it's actually measuring our telemetry for spinners. And I'm going to end up breaking it with this patch because I'm going to cause it to not show a spinner in that particular case. And so I'm going to need to fix that somehow. But this is definitely gonna. So I think I'm done seeing this. I think I've seen all I want. But like, let me also show you the test failure that's likely to occur. Components, telemetry, tests, and I think there's one. Or wait, no, I think it's under browser. Browser base content test tabs, and then there's one called browser tab spinner probe. And I believe this one will now fail because we shouldn't show the spinner anymore. Yeah, we fail. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And I have plans. I'm going to basically make it so that we turn off the force painting path for this test. So I'm going to add like some preferences for that. But that's not for this video, folks. I think I'm going to call it here. I'm going to call it a win, but first, let's commit this work. Bug 1342927. Make async tab switcher show a blank tab for tabs when switching to tabs that have no tab child yet. All right, let's take a look. I expect this to take a good chunk out of this graph that we were looking at earlier. This thing. I expect it to really take a bite out of this. Fingers crossed. I really hope it does. Certainly, I expect this bump to go away, is my hope. So let's push this to review. Take a look at the patch ourselves, then we'll publish it for review, and then we will end the episode. Wow, right on the buzzer too. It's almost 2:30, 3 minutes away. Let's see if we can get this in before then. Come on. Post to review. Do it. Do it.
Hey, what happened?
Come on. And now inbound's open again. That's nice. Here we go. So this is these are the CSS changes I had made. Oh, pending paint. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's what we wanted. Pending paint. We'll do the special spinner stuff. This is the stuff that we only want for pending tab child. Now it should be blank. I think I might want to update some of this documentation before I publish this to sort of clear up what it is exactly that I'm doing. I can get rid of this new line as well. Then I might want to document this. Okay, so I'm not going to publish this right away. I'm going to, you know what? I'll do it right now with you here. I'll do just a little, little extra, little bonus. I'm going to update. I'm going to update this patch again with you here. We're going to do it together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to update the documentation on the weak set. Holds a collection of Zool browsers that for this tab browser that are waiting, we cannot force paint since their tab childs haven't been constructed yet. Instead, we show blank tabs for them when attempting to switch to them. Should we also, I wonder if the timer should be, no, we don't want to clear the timer. Oh, there should be no timer. When is the timer set? Load timer in load requested tab. Then there's this load timeout. So it is always going, but I figure everything will be okay. The loading tabs now post actions, pre-actions, and post actions on the load timeout. And that's probably fire. If canceled, that only fires in the worst case scenario. So maybe we should cancel the load timer as well in the event that we get the tab child not ready. Clear the timer. So this is the other thing I want to document. Fired when, or the tab for this browser isn't currently set up in the content process, so we can short circuit so we have no chance of painting it right away. Instead, we'll paint about a blank tab instead. And then what else did I want to add? Should be blank. The update display stuff needs to be documented. Figure out which tab I actually want visible. Cancel the request tabs. The last visible tab. If it's not available, we'll show the spinner or a blank tab. Did first were we showing a blank tab already and no longer need to show a blank tab? If so, make it no longer blank. Oh, maybe. Actually, maybe I'll put that in here. We were showing I no longer needed to show a blank tab, so let's clear. Oh, I think it's pretty self-explanatory actually. But maybe this entire block. First, let's deal with blank tabs, which we show instead of the spinner when the tab child is definitely when the tab is not currently set up to be force painted, set up, I should say, properly in the content process. Spire as needed. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That might be it. That might be all we need to do here. Okay. So I made a slight adjustment to the code as well as adding the documentation by adding that clearing of the timeout. Let's just make sure that that works properly. Or at least make sure that it seems to work. Let's just give it a feel. All right. Showing blank. Good stuff. Good stuff. So we're going to amend that stuff. Let's put it up for review, publish it, and call it a day.
I can't do my work!
Amend. Push to review. Come on now. Why are you taking so long? And hopefully, if and when this lands, I'll see a nice dip right there in the graph. Let's go, let's go. In the meantime, what's another thing I've been looking at is the IPDL parser. Let's see if McCrate's... No, McCrate hasn't done much. Not on that master branch anyways. Not much going on there. I think we can publish these right away. So those are published. The... yeah, that's good. And then, oh, I did want to do one last follow-up bug, but I'll do that later. I'm going to end this episode right now. I'm going to leave on a high note. Thank you so much for watching episode 93 of The Joy of Coding. I hope that was enjoyable. I hope that was educational. I know it was a little bit weird at times, a little frustrating, a lot of weird debugging issues, but hey, that's okay. Have yourself a great week. I will see you next week with episode 94. We're closing in on episode 100. If you have ideas on things I could do for episode 100, do let me know. Please rate this episode. There's a link in the agenda. There's a link in the additional links sections on whatever viewing platform you're using right now. There's a link in the Twitch chat. Please rate this episode and let me know what you thought. I'd love to know. And on that note, let me switch to this. Have a great week, and I will see you next week with The Joy of Coding. Take care. Bye-bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.